Okay, so you move into a new neighborhood. You don't know anyone. The guy next door? He's mysterious, has questionable taste in parties, like parties so big they could feed a small country. And all of this is just because he's hopelessly in love with someone who's married to someone else. Sounds like the plot of a juicy reality show, right? Maybe The Real Housewives of West Egg? Well, buckle up because this is the story I just read, and let me tell you, it's full of love, lies, money, and some very questionable life choices. Oh, and by the way, people die, dramatically. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, the story is set in New York in the 1920s, the Jazz Age. Everyone's throwing parties, dancing the Charleston, sipping cocktails, because, Prohibition was basically just an excuse to drink more, and trying to look richer than they actually are. Enter Jay Gatsby, our main guy. Now, Gatsby is the ultimate rags to riches dude. Nobody knows exactly how he got rich. There are rumors of shady business deals, but trust me, his bank account is thick. He buys this absolutely massive mansion in West Egg, which is like the slightly less glamorous side of town. And he throws parties that make Coachella look like a school bake sale. And why? Not because he loves having fun. Oh no, he's not even dancing at these parties. He's doing all this for one reason: Daisy. Daisy Buchanan, the girl he's been obsessed with since, forever. Picture your high school crush. Then imagine building an entire life of luxury just to win them back. It's romantic. It's sad. It's also kinda creepy. But hey, this is Gatsby. So, Daisy, meanwhile, is married to Tom Buchanan. And let me tell you, Tom is that guy. The one rich, arrogant, cheats on his wife, but is also insanely jealous if anyone so much as looks at her. He's basically a walking red flag. And get this, Tom is having an affair with Myrtle Wilson, who happens to be the wife of a guy he knows. Because of course he is. Why just ruin one marriage when you can ruin two? Anyway, we're introduced to all of this through Nick Carraway, who's Daisy's cousin, and also happens to live next door to Gatsby. Nick is our narrator, and he's kind of like the quiet guy at the party who just observes everything and sips his drink while everyone else falls apart. So one day, Gatsby, being both shy and dramatic, decides that the best way to reconnect with Daisy is through Nick. Hey Nick, buddy, could you, maybe invite Daisy over for tea? I'll just casually swing by in my ridiculously fancy car. Smooth move, Gatsby. Daisy and Gatsby finally meet again at Gatsby's plush mansion, and for a while, it's like sparks are flying. They're reminiscing about the old days, looking at all of Gatsby's expensive shirts. Yes, there's a whole scene where Daisy cries over his shirts. I can't make this up. But here's the thing. Daisy's she's complicated. She's torn between the passionate love she once had with Gatsby and the comfort and security of staying with Tom. And let's be real, she's not exactly the most reliable person in the world. Then things get messy. Tom, being the human embodiment of toxic masculinity, starts confronting Gatsby, basically saying, "Stay away from my wife," which is ironic because he's out there cheating left and right. Long story short, they all go for a drive. Daisy's behind the wheel of Gatsby's fancy yellow car when she accidentally hits Myrtle, Tom's mistress, and kills her. Oops. Yeah, you'd think the 1920s had bad traffic laws or something. Now here's where things get tragic. Gatsby, ever the romantic martyr, decides to take the blame for Daisy. He's like, yeah, I'll handle it, thinking maybe Daisy will finally choose him. Spoiler, she doesn't. In a cruel twist, Myrtle's husband is told that Gatsby was the driver. He storms over to Gatsby's house, shoots him, and then kills himself. Just like that, Gatsby's gone. All that love, all that money, all those parties, poof. And where's Daisy? Nowhere to be found. She skips town with Tom, leaving Gatsby to be buried alone. It's heartbreaking. And it's a brutal reminder of how shallow and selfish some of these characters are. So that's the story in a nutshell. And if you're wondering what masterpiece I've been rambling about, it's none other than The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yep, the one with the fancy 1920s parties, doomed love stories, and more drama than a season finale of The Bachelor. This little book, only about 200 pages, packs enough heartbreak, ambition, and glittering excess to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the American dream. A guy who builds his whole life around the dream of winning back a woman who, honestly, doesn't deserve him. It's tragic and kind of beautiful, and also a little ridiculous when you think about the lengths Gatsby goes to for love. I found myself pitying Gatsby. Yes, he's a little over the top with his romantic gestures, like, dude, calm down. But his love for Daisy is almost pure in a world where everyone else is just out for money, status, and convenience. And then there's Daisy and Tom. Ugh. The Buchanans are the kind of people you meet at a party and immediately regret talking to. Daisy is selfish and careless, and Tom is just a coward. He's jealous of any man who comes near Daisy, yet he's the first to cheat on her. It's maddening. I hated them, honestly. But they're written so well that you can't look away. The book really dives into human nature, the way money can attract people like flies to honey, but the moment trouble hits, everyone scatters. Gatsby throws these epic parties and everyone's happy to drink his booze and dance in his mansion. But when he dies, nobody shows up to the funeral, not even Daisy. There's also this whole theme of living in the past. Gatsby can't move on from the memory of Daisy. He's stuck chasing a dream that's long gone. And honestly, that hit me hard. How often do we hold on to some idealized version of the past, thinking we can recreate it when in reality, life just doesn't work like that? And then there's the American dream. You know, the idea that if you work hard, you can achieve anything. Gatsby does achieve wealth, but at what cost? His dream ends up destroying him. It's like Fitzgerald is saying, hey, maybe chasing money and status won't actually make you happy. The Great Gatsby was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald and published in 1925. Fun fact, when it first came out, it wasn't that popular. It's only over time that people realized, oh wait, this is actually a masterpiece. Now it's one of the greatest American novels ever written. Fitzgerald himself lived through the Jazz Age, and you can tell. His writing is dripping with that 1920s vibe, the glitz, the glamour, and the emptiness beneath it all. He also had a pretty rough life, struggled with money, fame, and his own demons, which in a way makes Gatsby's story feel even more real. In the end, I thoroughly enjoyed this story. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, the characters can be infuriating. But that's the point. It's a mirror to human nature, how we chase after dreams, how we make bad choices, how we let love, jealousy, and pride mess everything up. And despite all that, the writing is just beautiful. Fitzgerald's prose is like poetry. Even when I was annoyed at the characters, I couldn't stop reading. If you haven't read The Great Gatsby, I highly recommend it. It's not a long book, but it's one that sticks with you. And if you're anything like me, you'll finish it and just sit there like, wow, humans are a mess. So that's my take on The Great Gatsby. What do you think? Have you read it? Do you love Gatsby, pity him, or just want to shake him and say, move on, dude? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss my next book review. Until then, stay classy and maybe avoid throwing giant parties just to impress your ex. It doesn't end well. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.